What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Throw up the deuces. There you go, baby.
Well. Happy Tuesday, boys and girls. Good evening. Welcome to Cage Side with Christopher James. I am Christopher James. It's cool. Welcome. Good to see you. Don't forget to take care of all the stuff you need to take care of before you dig into the show. You know what I'm saying? You know, have yourself some fun. You know what I mean, man? We're going to have a good time tonight, man. We got all kinds of stuff coming your way. A couple of fighters going to be joining us a little bit later on. Darren Cruickshank joining us as he gets ready to fight for the XFC. And Jared Warren going to talk to us about his last fight this past weekend at BKFC 19 here in Tampa, Florida. So I'm just sharing out, doing some business stuff here, you know, just posting out the link so everybody can jump in and enjoy the show. Hope you guys are having a good day. We're going to talk real quick about UFC this past weekend and BKFC 19 this past weekend, and then we're going to jump in with our guests. So thank you guys for tuning in today. I appreciate it. Share this out with all your friends and family, and even share it with people you don't like, just to annoy them. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, welcome. Good to see you. Good to have you on board. So we hope you guys have a good time tonight. And I'm going to have a good time, you know, regardless of anything in life. I'm just going to have a good time tonight, man, because that's what we do. Have a good time. So, you know, if you got any questions for our fighters, you know, put them up on the screen, and I will do my best to get them all answered for you this evening. All righty. So, thank you, Justin Sims. Hey, Justin, I got to figure out a day where I can come sit with you and take some clips from all these shows I do and put together a reel for, you know, for getting jobs with. So I need some help tremendously badly. So I'm hoping you can help me, my brother. So anyway, with that being said, real quick, I'm going to run through the results from BKFC 19, touch on a few things. First of all, people were asking about the fight that happened after the Blueface boxing match. All right, thank you, Justin. There was an arrest made. The guy that jumped in the ring in the first place, that Feldman, you know, I thought was going to, you know, beat the shit out of, because David Feldman is not shy about having to, you know, put hands on people if necessary. But, excuse me, that guy was arrested for entering some kind of, I don't remember what the exact term was, but I'll get it to you later on. But he was arrested. Some people thought that whole thing was a work. It was not a work. Somebody was actually arrested. There was some trouble out front. There was some trouble backstage. I know because I had gotten involved in a little trouble backstage, and I wasn't involved. I shouldn't say I was involved in any trouble, but I was there, and, you know, we'll just leave it at that. Anyway, Evans versus Warren at 175. Kenmont Evans, I love that fight, man. That's a great fight. But we'll talk about that with Jared. We'll even ask him. So stay on board with us. He's coming on at 8:30. So Jordan Nash defeated Brandon Allen via unanimous decision. And you know what? When that fight first started, I was like, man, we need a knockout to start tonight. But you know what? That was a great fight to start tonight. No knockout required. Because then we had Chris Big Boy Jensen take on Kyle McElroy, defeated him via TKO. Kyle McElroy was discovered at a tryout. I don't think he'll be back. It just wasn't, it didn't seem like it was his cup of tea. However, he was such a nice dude. Him and his wife and their beautiful little baby came down, had some fun, got into a fight, and they moved on. Jay Jackson takes out Damon Bell via knockout in round 3. Jared Warren defeated Zion Tomlinson, and to me, that's knockout of the night right there. I'm waiting for the official announcement from David Feldman and the folks at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Antonio Soto, Loco, had him on my show week before the fight. Took on Joshua Sykes, unanimous decision, 50-45, 49-46, 48-47. So that one was done. Terry Janowski defeated Richard Karsten, TKO, round 1. Evil Hero defeated Dakota Olive. These are, the next 3 are all platform fights, which David Feldman said he is not going to do again. He said from now on, anything that goes into his ring is going to be bare knuckle. These guys couldn't do bare knuckle. Nick Ireland won his fight. Blueface, we already talked about. Gian Herrera beat Abby Velasquez, two Tampa studs. Bad blood between them before the fight. After the fight, I think they are going to be able to, patch it up. TKO round 2 for Herrera. His debut in the promotion, former UFC vet. He wants more. Taylor Starling, the girl that is turning into the star of BKFC, took out Cassie Robb via TKO round 1, 28 seconds. Brenton Hart defeated Jenny Savage, is now on a 3-fight winning streak. And Arnold Adams took out Mick Terrell via knockout round 2. It was 38 seconds in. Rachel Ostovich, making her debut, took out Paige Van Zandt via unanimous decision. 48-47, 48-47, 49-46. Close fight, good fight. Rachel really showed that she is here to win. She is here to stick around. Hopefully she will. She said post-fight that she's not sure. She's going to talk with her management and see how that all works out. So we're going to have to wait and see how it breaks down for her. So that's the BKFC card. Over the weekend also we had UFC and some, again, tough fight. Hannah Goldie opened up the night against Diana Belbita. Belbita. I thought it was saying Belvita. Whoop, I got that all screwed up. Unanimous decision. Sajara Eubanks Sarge, man, she came out strong at 125, mind you. She dropped back down. She's looking to stick herself in that title picture in the flyweight division. First round, but the first round, second round, I don't remember. It was a KO, TKO. She it was round 1. Yeah, she won by Kate. She should beat the shit out of that girl. Julia Arce took out Andre Ewell, KO, TKO, round 2. Mickey Gall went by rear naked choke. Surprise, surprise, against Jordan Williams. Nasruddin Imavov defeated Ian Heinzich in round 2 via TKO. Brendan Allen, unanimous decision of Soriano. Adrian Yanez beat Randy Costa in round 2 with the TKO. Got a performance of the night for that. Macy Barber and Miranda Maverick. The judges gave it to Barber. The judges were wrong. Miranda Maverick clearly won that fight. I don't know what the judges were thinking on that one. These are those moments where you think, was the fix-in, because there's no way that Miranda Maverick lost that fight. I actually commented on my post about that she was robbed, and Miranda actually came on and liked the post. I always like when the fighters like what I say about them. But it was clearly, and I'll pull up the numbers here in just a second. Darren Elkins, what a fucking grimy bitch that guy is. And those are Daniel Cormier's words. Took out my man, Derek Minner. Minner was winning the fight all round 1, came in round 2 and couldn't get the job done. And then Darren Elkins just, lit it up. Unbelievable performance. Pavia defeated Kyler Phillips, and TJ Dillashaw defeated Corey Sandhagen. And despite what some of you say, TJ won that fight. He was the aggressor. He was controlling the pace of the fight. He was secure in control time. He won. You guys don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. It doesn't matter, because your thoughts and feelings aren't going to change the decision. And if Sandhagen and the team wanted to appeal that, they would lose their appeal. You're not going to get a turnover of a decision on something like that. It just doesn't work that way. So that's the end of that one. Now, in this Macy Barber versus Miranda Maverick fight, I just want to tell you guys. So Maverick landed, and again, this is a total, but I'm just going to give you the totals first. I'll give you the Brown breakdown in a minute. But total strikes, because this fight didn't really have any groundwork. There was like one takedown from each girl landed. Barber tried 6. She only landed 1. Maverick tried 1. She only landed 1. So total strikes, significant, 47 out of 143 for Maverick. Barber, 36 out of 111. Total strikes landed, 82 out of 190 for Miranda Maverick. 38 out of 117 for Macy Barber. Per round, Miranda landed more strikes in every single round of the fight. 18-7, 28-15, 36-16. Tell me how that girl fucking won a fight, Macy Barber. I'm not mad at Macy Barber. this is what gets me too. When a fighter loses by a decision, it's fucked up decision, everybody shits on the fighter that won. That fighter is not the judge. She had nothing to do with that decision. The judges did that shit. And, she didn't win, but, if they tell me I win. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? So don't shit on Macy Barber. She had a good, good performance. She didn't win the fight in my book, but it goes down as a victory for her, and there's nothing much we can do about that. So we just live with it. We're going to be having Darren Crookshank joining us here in just a couple of moments. So I hope you guys are enjoying, and getting ready to party with us tonight. We're going to have us a good freaking time. So, you know what I'm saying, man? So that's what we do here. Cage Side with Christopher James, we just do that shit, and, here's a quick message from my friend Max Griffin.
This is Max Payne Griffin, UFC welterweight, and you are watching Cage Side with Christopher James.
That's right, Max. You tell them, baby. You tell them where to go to get their favorite sports news, and we're talking about MMA or bare knuckle. Also, I want to talk about something I'm waiting for Darren Crookshank to join us. The rankings in bare knuckle fighting. Okay, now the Police Gazette is just heard the weirdest noise. I had to stop and look. Nope, nothing happened. All right, good. Anyway, the rankings in BKFC and for the UFC and everything else in that for that fact aren't anything more than conversation fodder. They don't mean anything. They should mean something, but they truly don't, because at the end of the day, promoters are going to book matches that they feel are going to bring the most pop and the most financial impact for their promotion. It's a business. That's what they do. So, the UFC rankings, you can have guys ranked right, and they're not getting title fights. They're not getting, the right fights. I mean, legitimately, in the UFC, when they have their own rankings, how much stock do you put in that? They're going to put in their rankings who they want to be at the top for whatever reason. When it comes to bare knuckle, though, specifically, there is the Police Gazette, they do their own rankings. They give out belts, they do all that stuff, they give out medals, and they do a good job. But their rankings are their rankings. BKFC doesn't have any of their own official rankings. The only other real ranking out there is by Combat Insiders through Knucklepedia. And that is run by my man Josh Furs. Some people shit on Josh. There was a thing that popped up with the rankings from March. Josh hasn't updated the rankings since March because he got frustrated with the people out there talking shit to him and, not being ready to do things. So, what do you do? So, I'm hoping Cruckshank knows that it's 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern time. I gotta see something here. Hang on a second. He's probably going to be an hour behind me. Watch this. Nope, it's the right time. It's 8 p.m. Okay, just double checking. So anyway, hey guys, if you're just tuning in, welcome. Good to see you. Drop in some comments. Let me know who's watching. You're watching Cage Side with Christopher James, brought to you by Just Heart Apparel and Just Heart Apparel East Coast. So anyway, back to these rankings for BKFC. So Josh Furs does the rankings. Josh Furs keeps up Knucklepedia. So all the wins, the losses, this, that, and the other thing, all the information you need to know about bare knuckle is kept by Joshua Furs of Combat Insiders, excuse me. And, the rankings stop. So, somebody brought up the women's rankings saying they're all out of whack, blah, 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 shitting all over the guy. Listen to me. Josh does this because it's a passion of his. Josh does it because he loves it. He does it to try to get, an idea of, keeping an idea of who's at the top of what division, but it's not official, and he always makes sure you understand that it is not official rankings. It is the Combat Insider rankings or the Knucklepedia rankings. Leave the guy alone. None of you got the fucking time or make the effort and put in all the work, and if you have no idea how much work goes into maintaining a site like Knucklepedia when it's all about updating information all the time and keeping it current. So Josh does that. Josh has a full-time job outside of that. Plus, he does other stuff in the combat sports world. So Josh has got a wife, he's got a dog. I mean, he's got a lot going on, and he still made time to do this ranking thing. You may not agree with his rankings, but again, they're his rankings. They're the rankings that he puts together through his own hard work. And you know what? They're probably pretty accurate because he does pay attention to all of it. So if you don't like his rankings, you don't have to. If you want to have a conversation about why he ranked Fighter A over Fighter B, that's cool too. However, until any of you have the balls and the gumption to put in the work that it takes to actually figure out how to do rankings in the first place, then just say thank you, Josh, and leave him alone. Because he's giving you guys something to talk about. And like I said, he's probably pretty accurate. And, you know, he may or may not update these rankings. And if he doesn't update from March, then it's a goddamn shame that we're not going to get to have something else to kind of look at, you know, versus the Police Gazette ones. And I don't even know how the Police Gazette does theirs. You know, if they just sit in a room and go, all right, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, number one. Rankings to me at this point in the early stages of bare knuckle fighting should strictly be based on wins versus losses and strength of opponent schedule. And that's it. But if you've got 6 wins at BKFC and you didn't have all the top fighters, but you had 1 or 2 in there, guess what, man? You're number 1. Fucking A. That's the way it works, man, in my opinion. So anyway, you know, like it or love it. Once again, that's it. I wonder if he's... Let me just double check here. So I just messaged Mr. Cruickshank. Hopefully he'll get that message and get on here with us real quick. So if there's anything else you guys want to chat about, let me know. We can do all of it right now while we're waiting for our guest to join us. Let's see, what else was there that I did want to mention on? Fuck. See, my brain goes because I got so much going on up in this big empty space. Couple announcements. Gamebred Fighting Championship 2 coming back to you September 11th live from Biloxi, Mississippi at the Biloxi Convention Center, Community Center. And it's going to be awesome. The fight card announcements are going to drop here this week. So we're going back to Biloxi for Gamebred. Hopefully I'll be there again as I was there for the debut show, and I'm hoping I am invited back. Island Fight, September 24th. Is that the right date? No, I got to go look at my dang thing. Island Fight, September. I'm pretty sure it's September 24th. September 24th. We're going to be on Fight TV. It's an amateur show again. And there's going to be a boxing match between John Gabbana, a.k.a. Boonk Gang, taking on Supreme Patty in a boxing match. This will be the second time we've had Supreme Patty join us in Pensacola for any fun and action. He brings the fun. He brings the crowd. It's always a good time. So hopefully we'll get that all popped up for you too. So it looks like I have a busy September. August 6th at XFC, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. This weekend, it's XMMA from South Carolina. It's the return of a few guys that we haven't seen in a while. Ben Saunders and Ramsey Ninja are going to head up the main event. In the co-main event, Kyle Poshniak is taking on UFC veteran Marcus Brimage. I'm excited about that fight for 2 reasons. I like both guys a lot, but I was very instrumental in getting Marcus to the promotion and helping him get his deal done to make his return after 5 years away. So I'm invested in this one. It's pretty cool that I got to, perform some managerial duties for a fighter. And I'll tell you, managing fighters sucks. Trying to help them get through medicals and, making sure you stay on them to make sure they do what the promotion needs to get done. There's work into it. And I didn't even get all the way in, but, there's a few things that were like, God damn it. And the promoters blow me up, and I work for those guys as well. I'll be announcing for them again in October for XMMA 3 down here in Florida. But right now, boys and girls, we are going to bring in our first guest of the night. I am honored to have him joining us on the program this evening. He is the Detroit superstar, baby. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, he's making his return to action against, what is this kid's name? Let me pull his name up here. Making his return to action in 2 weeks against Guilherme Faria. He is the Detroit superstar. Looks like he's still like in training mode. Please welcome Darren Crookshank. First time.
Hey,
What's up,
hey,
D? Yeah, look at you.
chilling.
You got the head.
Training. Yep, I got these things going. I just made dinner for me and my little baby. So, the wife's not home. You're home, dad. Yeah, yeah.
So you're being Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom, that's right. It's the best job I've ever had.
Amen, brother. Well,
Yep.
thank you for taking the time to join us today, man. I appreciate it. I know you just got done with training a little bit ago. And I'm going to be honest with you. You came on so smiley and happy, and I was expecting you to come on all raw.
Oh,
because
yeah.
of watching you fight over all these years. You know, you're just a certified badass.
That's only for money. That's only for money. When I'm not fighting somebody, I'm gonna fucking do whatever you want, dude. You know? There's no reason to be all worked up.
All right. Well, I'm going to crack a cold one right here.
All
Liquid
right.
Death. It's not beer. It's not alcohol. This is bottle. This is water in a can. Liquid Death Mountain Water. Their slogan is "Murder your thirst." So cheers.
Oh, I love that. How about we go with the stevia creamy root beer? 0 calories.
Liquid Death.
I'm on
Liquid
0
Death
calories.
versus root beer. I like it. I like it, man. I love it, man. So you're feeding the baby and everything. So we'll try to jump through the important stuff real quick. If you wouldn't mind, just give everybody a quick update about what you've been up to since the last time we saw you step into a ring and or a cage and beat somebody up.
Well, last time I stepped in was with Tour MMA in October. And, I don't know if the news is out yet, but they got a ton of shows.
Hey, Darren, I don't know if you can hear me. You're freezing up and your audio sounds like so. I don't know if your Wi-Fi is bad or if you're just in a weird spot in your house. But we didn't hear anything you just said. Oh, we lost him.
Is that better?
That's much better.
Okay. So since last time you saw me fight, that was October of last year. I don't know, this year, last year. That was for Tour. Yeah, that was for Tour MMA. And I don't know if the news is out yet, but I still haven't been paid for that fight. Tora didn't pay me, and I'm pretty sure they didn't pay over half the card, which is I've never heard of in this sport. I've heard of it in boxing and stuff, like people are shady and all. But yeah, so that Brazilian company, they are pieces of shit. The Florida Commission is supposed to be doing something. That's what their job is for, but I still haven't been paid. It's crazy how long it's been.
Well, just so you know, let me just cut you off. So you know, here in Florida, our executive director Patrick Cunningham, because I live here in Florida, I deal with this commission a lot. When fighters or anybody that works an event, boxing, MMA, kickboxing, bare knuckle in Florida, if you don't get paid and the commission gets involved, they will do everything in their power to get you paid. But again, the problem with that is you can't get money from a stone, blood from a stone. So if they don't have any, you're not going to get it. But if they do have it, our commission will get it. The head of the commission is a certified attorney, dude, and he don't fuck around.
Nice.
So if your case is on their table, they're going to work hard to get it for you. Just a little peace of mind for you. Just because I deal with these guys.
Thank you for that input. I really hope they get it done. Obviously, I don't like fighting for free. I mean, even with the money that I made, if they even paid me, I'm still out of pocket trying to get ready for that fight. Obviously, it wasn't for a lot of money. I got what I needed out of the fight is a win against a reputable opponent. And moving forward, obviously, I'd love that money. I'd probably buy more guns. But other than that, on to the next one. We got XFC coming up here August 6th. I forget my opponent's name. I
Guilherme Faria.
Yeah, obviously I'm a hillbilly white boy, you know, and it's hard. It's super hard to say that name for me. For me, I don't like to put anybody on a pedestal. I watch a couple fights before I take the fight, and I say yes and no. And my team watches it, right? So I'm not concentrating on him. I don't fucking know his name. I just get ready. I get sharp, and right now my fight is with the scale. This is my first time fighting at 145. I haven't been down to this weight since high school. Junior year of high school, I wrestled 145. But I'm doing it awesome, man. I really feel like the best I've ever felt before. I'm in shape. I'm walking around at 158 right now.
That's beautiful.
And I'm like, dang, dude, like that's basically what I fight at normally. 155. I'm normally like 165 to 170 the week of the fight, right?
Right.
5-pound fights. And right now I'm walking around, you're right, like almost on weight. It's crazy. I'm doing basically a keto diet with intermittent fasting in between, and just really hitting those workouts on basically, 1,000 calories or whatever. But I feel great. Can't wait.
Your strength and everything, your strength feels good as you're changing it up and getting down to 145. You feel strong?
I'm strong as fuck, dude, and I cannot wait to fight somebody that's smaller than me, right? I am so used to fighting these giant people. Masvidal, right? He was a foot taller than me. Like, I'm so used to fighting these super tall guys, super strong, super tall, crazy strength guys. I just cannot wait to be the big guy, I guess. I probably still ain't gonna be that big, but I'm definitely faster than most people.
It's funny. I forgot, that you fought Masvidal and you fought guys like KJ Noons and James Krause and Paul Felder.
Yep. All those big dudes.
You sound like you're a Frankie Edgar victim. Like Frankie Edgar fought.
Right.
Everybody always talks about who the greatest lightweight champion is, and everybody right now says it's Khabib. I say it's Frankie Edgar because Frankie Edgar fought at 155 and walked at 155. So he walked in on fight night at 156 and fighting guys at 175, 180 on fight night and beating them. So for me, that's what makes him the greatest champion ever because he did it at the walk weight, and
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you fought I'm saying because Masvidal's bigger than you, Krause is bigger than you, Beneil Dariush is bigger than you. I mean, that's fucked up, man.
It's crazy.
You know what? I'm going to take over your career from now on. I'm going to book you against only guys that are smaller than you. I'm tired of this shit. You're being abused, and I don't fucking like it.
Any 45-pounder that I fought that has made their way to 55, I've knocked them out.
Well, there you go. So since you don't really know a lot about your opponent, could you concentrate on what Darren needs to do, the Detroit superstar? As long as you're on your game, doesn't really matter what the other guy's doing or, what he brings, because your coaches are going to prepare you, say, hey, look, this guy's got a mean fucking sweep, so you got to make sure if you're down there, avoid that sweep. But you don't specifically train. Let me interrupt this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news from Myron Malotki, the president of XFC, just dropped here on the show. Darren is the main event. Darren and Faria is now the main event at XFC 45. That is fucking awesome.
Dang. Do I get a raise?
Hey, Myron, does he? Well, he's watching. So, Myron, does he get a raise? Because, main event and then bringing
throw it out there,
bringing the sexy to the show. I mean, he's bringing the sexy to the show, Myron.
I'm working out hard.
Look at it. Look at that bicep. Ooh.
145.
Snap into it.
Going to see mustache. He's gonna curl up.
Hey, Myron said no.
Damn it. All right, well, you're paying for the drinks after, though.
All right, Myron, you heard that. You're buying the drinks after. And you know what? That's the promotional answer right there. No.
That's okay.
He did say, though, he just commented, I don't know if you should be able to see the comment on the screen. He just said, man, that kid looks great. You do, man. Yep. I'm going to say over the years of watching you fight and everything, and, obviously the first time we've chatted, but I've watched you. I've seen you at weigh-ins and everything, and, obviously you're not at weigh-in time yet, but you've always seemed to be in shape. I don't, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember, and there's so much MMA shit in my head, so I don't remember everything, but I don't think I ever remember you like missing a weight ever.
So I did miss a weight with Benito Del Rouge. It was the worst weight cut I ever had. I was like a pound over, and I had a terrible weight cut. I think I got above myself, and I thought I could just cut more water than I could, and it messed me up. So I was like a pound over the allowance, or a half pound over the allowance. I went back to the hotel, cooked my body for another hour, went back to the weigh-in, was still over, had to give up percentage of my purse. On the way back, this was in the UFC, on the way back, I'm in the van with the ring girls, and I'm like drinking water, and I literally puke. Nice ride. I puke all over everybody in the van. Literally, like, I'm in the back, and nothing is staying down. I cooked my brain. It was the worst weight cut I've ever had, and I was like, bleh, all over the ring girls. Sorry, ring girls. Sorry, Brittany. It's like,
I'm just gonna ask you which girls it was.
Yeah, it was terrible. I don't know if they remember it, but thought I had to my cardio wasn't there, and the weight cut really got me. And that was 100%. I'm like, that's nobody else's fault. That's my fault. No matter what happens, if there's obstacles, once you get to the thing and the sauna's not hot, whatever, I take ultimate responsibility for it. Maybe I should have water loaded better. Maybe I should have started dieting further out, whatever it is. But guess what? Me as a person, I learned from my mistakes. And from then to now, it's night and day. My weight cut is awesome. My last 5 weight cuts for 155, I've done it in one session in the sauna. And that's awesome for me. Where before I would do 2 1-hour sessions and then float some, and it would be 15 to 20 pounds. Now, my goal for 145 is, again, like I said, I've been waking up at 158, 159. My goal this week is to wake up at like 55 to 56 and then settle there, and then the rest will be water. So a good 10-pound weight cut of water is not bad. That's an hour in the sauna.
That's what I was just going to say. If you can do that and get yourself at 145 with just an hour in the sauna, that's stellar. Myron also just commented. He said he tried to call you to break the news, and just remember that he was with me. And he said, yes, he's got your drinks after.
So it must have been him. He was trying to call while we're on the video. Yeah. Sorry. I'll call you back. I'll send you some photos.
Yeah, and he it's funny because he said he remembered, because I excuse me, scheduling interviews for this for you and some of the other guys with XFC. I reached out to Myron and Matt Frendo, who's the matchmaker, to see guys that definitely want me to get on the show. That little girl is so gosh darn adorable.
Thank you.
I'm glad my wife isn't in here right now, because our grandson lives in Pennsylvania. He's a little over 2, and we miss him every day. So if she sees baby, she like pushes me out of the way, even if it's on a video.
Oh, right. Right.
So stay away, woman. I'm doing an interview. But
this is how cute I was before I started fighting. Literally, chip off the old block.
Dude, you're cute. Hey, listen, you're cute now, dude.
And these crazy ears, and
even with the ears, and the cuts, you're still cute. You can see that you can definitely see that she is daddy's little girl. No doubt about it. So how old is she?
A little over 1.
Okay,
and we have another one coming 2 weeks after the fight. We got another. My wife's about to pop, so another little baby girl.
Another girl. You're a girl, Dad.
I know. So all my brothers have all boys. Like both my brothers have like 4 boys and 1 girl. They had their girl last, and everybody's like, "You're fucking getting all girls."
Isn't that's wrong? I mean, do you plan on having 4 or 5 kids, or are you gonna, is there a game plan for 2 or 3?
Whatever happens. We're not really planning anything. I mean, I could see, traditionally, right, want to have a boy, carry on the name, all that stuff. But for me, it's like whatever happens, right? We get what God wants us to get, and there's always a plan, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, just put your trust in it.
Yeah, but your trust and all that stuff, as a man, you're still going, all right, man, now I've got 2 girls. You probably sit one day while you're chilling, and you're going, all right, this girl's coming. I got 2 girls. I got the wife. I need to have a boy. Dear Lord.
I have a boy dog.
Yeah, well, the boy dog can't carry on the Cruickshank name.
No,
so, you know
no,
what I
he
mean?
can't.
So,
No, he can't.
you know, he'll always be a Cruickshank, but he's never going to be able to carry on the name.
Right.
No matter how many puppies he spawns,
Right.
nobody's going to know. So we're going to have to talk to my, I'll have to talk to my guy. You know, he does, you know, stuff like this. He works in the medical field. Look, man, we need to give Darren something to drink that will ensure he gets a boy on round 3.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
I heard
we're
I
going
got
to
to
take care of everything.
I got to shove it all the way in, or is it like I got to drink a lot of caffeine before it happens? Like, what's the tricks, you know?
Loose fitting underwear. Is one of the tricks.
Underwear.
Loose fitting underwear, so the boys downstairs have time to breathe. You know, and you know, get the boys running around in the playground that you're carrying around down below, and then they they can run to the front of the line.
Okay.
And you know, get their sisters out of the way, and they're going to jump in, and so that's it. So loose fitting underwear. And if you need loose fitting underwear, there's a company called Sheath. They have underwear. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
They are right here. I keep a pair around at all times to show people because this is the weirdest. Now these are inside out, but I don't know if you'll be able to figure it out here. But
does it have a cup for your nutsack?
It's a nut pouch.
Oh, lovely.
And a wiener hole.
Oh.
So you separate the boys from the man.
Perfect.
And that way, it's. Listen, I was at Game Bred Fighting Championship, their inaugural show for Masvidal's Bare Knuckle MMA show. I was ring announcing, and this was one of our sponsors. And all the fighters wore them in the weigh-ins. And if you wore them and posted it, they paid you. So I got a pair just to try them on. And at first, I got to tell you, it was weird. So bizarre to have the boys separated from the man. But then walking around with them, I was like, I like this. This is good stuff. So even if even if the boys are getting sweaty, the man stays dry. And from my understanding, the ladies like that part, you know. So I mean, so get the loose fitting undies, let the boys breathe, and we'll get you a boy. And if it doesn't happen, I'll talk to my people, and they'll call your people, and we'll fucking get you trained out, man.
Perfect.
So you've been in this game a long time. What has been your favorite fight, win or loss, that you've been involved in? Because I used to ask the question, tell me your favorite fight, and everybody always went for the most high-profile win. But then I decided to ask it differently. What was your favorite fight you've ever been involved in, win or loss? Because you know what? That got me some pretty interesting answers. So I figured your answer for this one is going to be, it could be the biggest win of your career, or it might be something we don't know. So that's why I ask it that way, because I want to know, even if you lost a fight, I mean, Nico Price, told me one of his favorite fights he was in was against Donald Cerrone. He didn't win the fight, but it was fight Donald Cerrone. That was fucking dope, so.
Right.
So for you, what's your favorite fight moment that you've been in?
That's a hard one. I mean, like, majority of my stuff is pretty exciting.
Yep.
I really can't say what's my favorite one. I mean, I like
Top
fighting.
3?
Well, here's the thing. I fought a couple years ago, just outside of the UFC, back in Michigan. I forget the guy's name I fought, but fighting in front of your home crowd in Michigan, that was probably my favorite one. It was actually, I think it was for, who did I fight for in Grand Rapids a couple years ago? It was for Matt Frendo, right? It was for Matt Frendo, who is the matchmaker or one of the matchmakers. And a hometown crowd, everybody got to go see. I had a lot of fun because all my family was there. For the most part, I'm always flying places, different countries and stuff, where people can't follow me, and that's unfortunate. But I got to go where I make the most money.
Yeah.
But so fighting home is probably my favorite fights. And this one coming up is in Grand Rapids, and I'm gonna have a huge following there. All my family gets to go.
You're the main fucking event.
And I'm the main event. Babe, they moved me to the main event.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
We just broke the news here on Cage Side with Christopher James. We don't get a lot of exclusives because we're not ESPN, but once in a while, one drops right into the hands.
Yeah, so, all right.
And let them know you're not getting more money, but Myron's paying for all the
I'm not getting
drinks.
any more money.
But the boss is paying for all the
drinks. They're
drinks.
going to pay for all the drinks after.
That's what they said?
Yeah.
Right here on the show, they just said it.
Right here on the show. Yeah, they said that.
We asked the boss.
I know.
So, I'm sorry, honey. I know, because she can't drink and she probably can't even eat sushi because she's having the. Oh. Well, after the baby comes and she can have cocktails. Myron, after the baby comes and she can have cocktails, you're going to have to send them a gift card so Mrs. Detroit Superstar can go have some cocktails on your tab.
Exactly.
So you're doing MMA right now. You know, you've been in this a long time. What are you, 36?
I'm 36.
All right. 36. So there's something that's been going on a lot in the world and truly been making its mark is bare knuckle fighting and bare knuckle MMA. Because now Masvidal's show is doing bare knuckle MMA. So, you know, that would be something I could see you doing. But what about bare knuckle fighting? Would you do it?
For me, I mean, I would for the right money. Those guys are beating the shit out of each other with no gloves on. It's crazy. You watch those guys and they hold their ground and they chuck. You see their hands so swollen after, or their faces so swollen. I mean, you get some knockouts and stuff, but I'm surprised there's not as many broken hands as I would think with no gloves on, you know? Yeah. I for sure would do it. You know, I'm in the combat sports. I do it for money, and I'm confident in my hands. But it would have to be for the right money, right? You know, that's the thing.
So I you know, we were just joking around. I told Myron he's got to send you a gift card so the wife can have drinks after the baby's born. And he just commented. He goes, "That might be less expensive. It might be less expensive to just pay Darren a higher purse."
Yeah, she's into nice things.
I love it. You know, what I've noticed with bare knuckle is because I've been covering some jump. I fucking love it, dude. The hand injuries, the ones that, and some people do get broken hands. You know, there's probably more of them than you realize. Because, you know, people don't, first of all, it's not getting the same pop and coverage as, you know, UFC right now, but it is growing rapidly. I mean, at this last show that we just had, you know, they had the Big Show from WWE, you know, Braun Strowman, also a WWE guy, Hector Lombard, who just won a championship there. You know, there's a lot of big stars there, and they're all getting into this. They're buying into this thing. And, you know, after the fight, a couple of guys show me their hand, you know, fucked up. But most of the guys that have done this at least, you know, 2 times now are starting to figure out how to condition your hands prior to going bare knuckle. You know, there's conditioning exercises they're doing that are strengthening their hands. And they're not breaking their hands as much. I mean, my boy told me he thought he broke his hand in the first round. Doctor cleared him and said, "It's not broken. You just got a couple of bruised, you know, knuckles here." He goes, "One of them got dislocated, but he relocated when you punched your opponent in the face." So, you know, I mean, It kind of happens like that. Now, and it's crazy. It's fun. And some of the guys get cut. Let me show you somebody right now. I'm going to bring in my next guest to join us for the last minute of your interview. He is Jared Warren. He calls himself Captain Deadpool. He just fought over the weekend. And, you know, he got the knockout of the night. He knocked out a dude cold. I mean, left the guy laying in the ring for 5 minutes. And he's got a little bit of black eye. How are your hands feel?
Hands feel great, man.
Put your hands up on the camera so we can see. I want to see how they're. See, I mean, this is
nothing there.
That's a big hand. You know what that means?
And,
big
gloves. That one's swollen. That one's swollen.
Big glove. But they're not as bad as you think they would be. You know, and I wanted to show Darren what you look like after the fight because his eye was worse the other day, and he'll be clean. But you know, there's no real. A lot of these guys, you know, they get cut up, but that's what they're getting. They're getting cuts. They're not sustaining the same amount of, you know, impact to the brain because, you know, I punch you once, you fall down, it's over. You didn't take 35 punches wearing boxing gloves or, you know, 25 punches wearing MMA gloves where you sustain more damage. Captain Deadpool, you know, this was your third bare knuckle fight.
That was my third one.
So, and you've done other stuff too. What would you say to a guy like Darren Crookshank, who we know can beat the shit out of people, about coming over to BKFC or to any bare knuckle show?
Well, you kind of have you got a good style, man. I seen you're good hands and feet. I come from a kickboxing background too, and it is a bit of a change because I kind of in my mind, I'm like, I'll put myself against anybody in the world in a kickboxing match. But making the transition to more of a boxing style, it made me feel kind of a rookie again. I had to add in some new coaches that, they work with a lot of MMA guys, but they are boxing coaches. And just those little adjustments with your stance, how you hold your hands and all that. There's more to it than I would have thought. I mean, you may be leaps amount ahead of me and already know that, but for me, that was the biggest change is that I'm not kickboxing anymore. So I can't hold my feet, my hands, the same stuff. Can't stand quite as tall. It's just minor adjustments that make a big difference. That's all.
Little things like that.
I mean, I feel like with the no gloves on, you have to to not get injured. You have to really pick your shots, make sure you're not hitting something hard, right? Going for the weak sides of the body and stuff like that. And it's a different distance and it's different discipline. Anybody that straight boxes will fuck up somebody that does boxing for MMA, right? When you're stepping in the world, you have to immerse yourself in that style and become what that style is,
some boxers have come over and have not succeeded against a guy that was MMA boxing guy. For instance, Paulie Malignaggi came over and fought Artem Lobov, and Paulie Malignaggi was a boxing world champion. And he lost to Artem, who we all know is the GOAT of everything he does. One of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life, man. But he's awesome. But so it's just a couple of transitions. And the advice I would say to Darren too, if you're coming over and say, look, make sure, I'm Darren, I'm getting paid.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would 100% I would do it, but no one's come to me and, it has to be worth it. So
well, now that I know that you might be interested, don't be surprised if you get a message from the folks at BKFC because I'm going to tell them. And you said it here, so, but if the money's right.
Baby.
I mean, look, Hector Lombard is there. Yeah. He's a champion.
Oh, yeah.
Thiago Alves is now a champion there. He just won. I mean, there's some there's some MMA guys, people that you probably come through the game with that are transitioning over. Jared, I'm going to click you out for a minute. I'm going to finish with Darren. I'll bring you right back. Stand by. Thank you for jumping in with the input, though. Because I want. Hold on. Let me do that official. Jared, Darren, Jared. Now it's official. I get excited, And both of you guys are 36. Deadpool, you're 36, right?
I'm 37.
36.
Oh! Dang, he's got that wisdom on me.
He's got that wisdom. I'm 52, so I'm smarter than both of you. You know why? Because I don't get punched in the face. See? But I'm involved in all the shit. I just don't have to get hit. Jared, stand by. I'll bring you right back in. But anyway, I'm glad he was on because I knew I wanted to ask you about bare knuckle. He just fought, and I'll send you the link. I'm going to send you the link to his finish because it was fucking. I mean, perfect punch. And it dropped the guy.
I'll check it out.
The kid he drops 21 years old, and he's going to be fine. It's but he's a stud. He got caught. And that's the whole thing. So, so before I let you go, you've always been a tough guy. You've stood up and taken any challenge in the world that's been thrown at you, as long as the money's been right. Exactly. Now, this challenge I'm going to make, there is absolutely $0 involved. But I promise it won't hurt. So, are you ready to accept the challenge?
Well, I will listen to the challenge first.
Oh, man. It's a simple one. This is episode number 293 of my show. I've had on over 400 or 500 different guests on the show over the years, because I try to get multiples on. And first time guest on the show, I'm going to say I probably had as many as episodes as I've had. So 290, 300 guests. First time, and some repeats, of course. I always ask my first-time guests to do one thing on the show, and sometimes it throws them out. Oh, I see your eyebrows going one at a time. The Rock. I always ask first-time guests on the show to do something that'll make them a little uncomfortable. Some are uncomfortable, some aren't. And the thing I ask them to do is sing a little something for the fans on the show.
Sing something?
Sing something. I don't care, and I don't care if you can or can't sing. I did this once because I thought it'd be funny. And then all of a sudden people that watch my show were like, dude, get the next guy to sing. Get the next guy to sing.
Get the next guy to sing.
So I don't care what you sing. You can sing happy birthday to your daughter, even if it's not her birthday. You can sing happy birthday to the unborn daughter before she gets here. Hey, and Josh Parisi, who I love, he's been on the show. He said he wants to be the heavyweight Darren Crookshank.
Dang.
I'm guessing you and Josh know each other.
A little bit.
Little bit.
He's a Michigan boy.
Josh is one of the fucking coolest dudes I've ever had on the show. He's so much fun. He's just a big, happy, heavyweight.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, super sweet guy. Sweet. He's not just nice. He's sweet.
Yep.
So he sang on the show. So
I
give
have
us
to
something.
sing something. They want me to sing something. What do I? Yeah. Because I guess.
Allegiance.
Oh yeah, how about that? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
No, that's not
America.
singing. That's not singing. That's not singing.
That is singing.
No, it's not.
I can sing it in a singing voice.
No. Now, if you did, oh, say, can you?
That's a long
if you
one.
sing the national anthem, you don't have to
That's
say.
a long
Listen,
one.
hold on. You don't have to sing the whole song. Whatever you sing, I just need like 15 seconds. That's all I ask.
Okay, he needs 15 seconds of a song. You'd be surprised at what I listen to.
I would not be surprised.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I don't know if I know 15 seconds of it.
You might.
It's I've walked out to this one time. America, fuck yeah. Coming again, say the motherfucking day, yeah. America, fuck yeah. Freedom is the only way now.
That's perfect.
How about that?
That might
Team
be one of the
America.
best ever, dude. Team America, World Police.
That's
Fuck
right.
Yeah. Dude, that has to be one of the most obscenely, disgustingly favorite movies I've ever seen in my life.
I wish they would let me walk out to that at the XFC event. Come on.
Did you ask?
There's too many swear words. I don't see them letting me.
Well, you're going to be the main. Hey, you're going to be the main event on Fox Sports 2. But you're on Fox Sports 2. It's not on like cable.
It's free speech. I should be able to say and come on with whatever song I want.
Hey, Myron, he wants to sing the theme song. He wants to walk out to the Team America theme song. America, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So look up the song, Myron, and let us know. It's just how he feels, man. If you can't. I love it. Well, listen, man. Thank you for taking the time to join us on the show today. I appreciate it. It's been fun, man. It's a good time. I got to see you being a little dad action. Your wife came home. I could tell that you guys have an awesome relationship just off the couple of minutes that she's there, because you're talking to her. Hey, they want me to sing. What are you saying? And she's throwing stuff at you. She's bouncing it off. When two people are in unison like that, man, life is beautiful, and that's why I'm a blessed man. My wife is the same way. My wife, hi, Mrs. Cruickshank. Aw.
Can't hear anything.
He says hi.
I can hear her.
She can't hear. Yeah, she can't hear you.
Well, just tell her I said hello, and congratulations on the new baby.
And congratulations on the new baby.
And tell her the third one better be a boy. She better.
And the third one better be a boy. She's laughing.
Well, listen, man, you go enjoy the night. I know your wife just got home. You were playing Mr. Mom, so you've been out doing stuff all day.
Yep.
We will catch up again after this fight, I hope, and talk about your win. Congratulations on being elevated to the main event, man. If anybody deserves to be highlighted on the top of a show, you are. You've earned that reputation in the game, and been a fan for years, and do this media stuff, and I love it. So it's nice when I get to talk to somebody I've been a fan of for a long time in a professional. Well, I'm not super professional, but in a semi-professional way. We hit the important stuff, like talk about your fight a little bit, blah blah blah. Yeah. But anyway, I hope you have a great night, man. God bless you and your family. We'll be watching. Is there anybody you want to shout out, sponsor, or anything? Go ahead and take that opportunity right now. Brother.
Sponsors, dang. Okay, I have all my sponsors are basically gun companies, which is awesome. So sponsors are Church Gun, Nightside Optics. They are a night vision company. I have BG Defense. They make AR rifles. GSL Technologies. They make suppressors. Phoenix Ammo. They make ammo. And Oakland Tactical, right? So, that's basically all of them. I don't know if I forgot. There's a ton. ATEI Guns. They make freaking sweet-ass Glocks and stuff like that.
Nice. You said you're a kind of a hillbilly guy, so Hillbilly Mountain. So maybe you should reach out to these folks and get them on as a sponsor for you.
Liquid Death, yeah.
Mountain Water. And
I want some of those britches you got too.
Oh, and look at the bottom of the can, what it says down there.
What does it say? It's hard to read.
Oh, I'm sorry. It said murder your thirst.
Murder.
That's your sponsor.
Murder,
listen,
death,
I'll reach out. Murder, death, kill.
MDK.
Oh my God, MDK, Demolition Man. Fucking, I love you even more right now. Well, listen, you enjoy your night, and again, actually, I'll reach out to my people with GFC Game Bread and find out about sponsorship and stuff. And I'll see if I can get them to send you some sheath underwear to, let the boys play while the daddy rest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, anyway, God bless.
All
Good
right.
night. Have a great night. Good luck in the fight, and thank you for taking the time. Peace, bro.
Have a good one.
All right, you too, man. All right, that was Darren Crookshank. And now, ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the show, I had to bring you back in to give you the proper intro. He had a big win at BKFC 19 last week here in Tampa, Florida at the Florida State Fairgrounds. Took on the surging Zion Tomlinson Sr., and he scored a knockout victory. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jared Warren to the show officially. What's up, bro?
Thanks for having me, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm just here chilling, getting to talk to guys like Darren Crookshank and you, and I love doing what I do. You see me at the fights, man. I love watching the fights and being there and talking to the fighters and everything. So we saw you a few minutes ago. How's that eye healing up? Just anything broken up in there, or just?
Nah, man. It's just surface stuff. If you get hit with a bare knuckle, even if it's not a very much a direct hit, it's gonna swell. It's gonna bruise.
It sure is. It sure is. And
I can't even feel it. It's just kind of discoloration.
And Z is apparently going to be quite all right. No surgery required, or going in for surgery, but no metal plates. From what I'm understanding now, the initial report from his father was he was going to have a metal plate installed in his face, which would be cool for him. It'd suck for anybody that hits him there, though.
Yeah, make him like part cyborg. That'd be kind of awesome.
Yeah, like Connor got a titanium, rod in his leg. So to totally go off the subject, should you be allowed to continue fighting with a titanium rod or a metal plate in your face?
That's an interesting.
I thought about it, and I'm sure some guys have it already. But I've never asked anybody. So what's your thoughts on that, just in general? Is that a fair thing? Because if I kick your titanium rod with my fucking scrawny human ankle, chances are my ankle is going to break against your titanium rod, and your titanium rod is going to hold up. So, I
wouldn't want to hear them, barring somebody from fighting because they got an injury and they had to do something like that. But it is an interesting point. I do, if I'm not mistaken, I think GSP back in the day had a titanium elbow after breaking it, and you can look at it, you can see that it was visually like larger after the surgery because he had to have that put onto it. But that's interesting.
I never even thought about it till just now, and I was like, no, that just doesn't sound right, man. But I would never want to deny anybody to fight if they're healthy enough and can pass the physical and do all that stuff, and they're willing to step in. They should be allowed to fight. But that does change your body. So I'm just wondering how that works out. But I'm gonna ask a fight doctor. I'm gonna bring him on the show and find out about that. So how you been since the fight, bro? Chilling out, celebrating with some folks and everything.
Still kind of riding that high. You know what I mean? That everybody has after a fight. I took the rest of the weekend off and then started back in training yesterday.
Yeah.
But, in general, I feel great though.
Yeah, but what have you been doing? You've been celebrating, having some cocktails, partying a little bit. Do you drink? I don't drink, so I don't know. So, but apparently I do, that's the thing to do.
Yeah, I do socially until I have something scheduled. As soon as I do, I cut out the alcohol. I really become more of a hermit. I don't go out. I just kind of work out, eat, sleep, just kind of live that regiment. We did go out after the fights ended, but it was like for half a drink. Like I thought I was gonna like be excited, like, oh, I haven't been out in a while. We went to a place in downtown Tampa, and it wasn't fun. We literally we got half a drink, and I'm like, let's get out of here. And I went home, and I was like more excited about getting home and relaxing than I was being out. So I really don't miss it.
Well, if you went to the Hard Rock after, where Feldman and all the other people were partying, I bet you might have had a few more cocktails and felt a little cooler about it.
Right. I did hear about that later in the evening, but I had already gotten back home. I'm like, man, I ain't coming back out.
He's already out. He's in his pajamas. He's drinking some warm milk, eating a little bowl of cereal before bed. I feel you, bro. I feel you. That's what happens when you start getting into the upper 30s. Life partying, it's not the same. I used to go out and party with all my friends. And I work in the bar industry, and I've been doing that, for 30 years. And after about the first 10 years of being in the business, I just said, I'm not going out to any more bars, man. I work all night in a bar. Why the fuck do I want to go to another bar? You know, I mean, fuck. And, back then I used to, have a cocktail here and there, but I probably haven't drank any, and, I didn't have an alcohol problem because I didn't drink a lot. I didn't really liked it anyway. But, if I did drink, I drank to get a buzz quickly. So it was, Jägermeister shot, 2, 3, and I'm doing the YMCA on the bar, I mean, like, YMCA, I'm just fucking retard, I mean, mentally, challenged. I don't even know what to call myself, but yeah, 2 shots gets me going, and the third one, and after that, if I do a fourth one, God forbid, I don't remember, so I mean,
you're a cheap date, man.
I'd be a cheap date. I'd probably, good thing, because, but I always knew that I couldn't drink a lot, and I'm glad that I knew, because it could have gotten ugly for me, and I always say it's a good night if you get fucked up, as long as you wake up the next morning and none of your orifices hurt, you're good.
That's a good starting point for sure.
I think that's the bar, I mean, so you're a local guy here in Tampa area. You get a big win in front of, Cruckshank was just talking about, even though it might not have been in the UFC, some of his favorite fight moments in his life were getting to fight in front of the hometown crowds in Michigan. So you get to fight in front of a big old crowd here. And, you, if I'm correct in doing my research, you are a firefighter.
Yeah, that's the full-time gig, firefighter.
That's the full-time gig, firefighter, paramedic. So, like, you could tend to your own injuries in a fight, right? You just put up a mirror and go, all right, man, yeah, you're good right here. Let me check your pulse, your temperature, stats are good. Go back out and fight, bro. Okay, bro. I mean, you do it for yourself. You don't even need a cut, man.
I have snapped my nose back in place a couple times in the mirror. Just save a little trip to the doctor. That's the same thing they're gonna do. They're gonna be like, push it and be like, okay, that'll be having 1,000.
Dude, if I get a splinter, man, I'm like dying over here. You know what I'm saying? Mommy, I can't. You're sitting there going, all right, let's go to work, kid. That. So, the firefighter guys, how do they treat you when you come back to the house and you're all, beat up like that? Even though you won, you still look like you got your ass kicked. But you didn't. I mean, you were getting you were getting pieced up in that fight. There's no doubt. But that's why you fight, because what happens here 10 seconds later, the whole thing could change just like that from one punch, which you did. Man. But so the guys at the firehouse, do they razz you? Do they fuck with you? Do they screw with you? I'm sure they all support you, because that's the the thing around a firehouse. You guys are all brothers, your family. So even if you don't like somebody in the house, you always support them. I mean, because you're all you guys do a crazy job, and you all have to lean on each other no matter what. You might not like this guy, whatever, but so how do they treat you at the firehouse?
Yeah, win or lose, you're gonna get fucked with that at the station. That's kind of the, majority of fun of being there is just the crew. You know what I mean? Like some of the calls get repetitive and mundane once in a while, but in between, you always have each other to mess with and joke around and stuff. Now, had I lost, it'd probably be much worse. There's somebody was making references to what's his name, Stipe, because he's also a firefighter, and I guess like when he lost, we came back to the station and they had like, his opponents. His opponents had like posters of him all over the wall, getting knocked out, all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't put it to youth my coworkers to do something similar. But no, they all think it's, for the most part, they think it's a pretty cool thing, because nobody else in the area is doing the same thing. You know what I mean? As far as on the fire department and all that, there's a couple fighters, but I don't think anybody else is doing bare knuckle. So they give me shit, but they also give some respect too. They have fun with me, so they're all fam. Good guys to have around. And
they can bust your balls a little, but they gotta respect you, because if not, you'll just have to kick their ass. I mean, look, bro, I'm a professional fighter. You can talk so much shit, but then I'm gonna pop you.
I'm not above hitting a grown man. I'll do it.
But you prefer to hit another grown man for money, not for free. Perfect. I mean, that's the way to do it, man. So you are now 2-1 at BKFC. and again, you took out a kid that, a lot of people are tagging to be, a star. And I still think he will be, it's a loss, the losses are going to come in this sport. And you caught him right on the mush. I mean, I don't know if you could have scripted, a movie fight knockout better than the one you landed. Like I told you when I told you when I interviewed you post fight outside of the arena, I love that Z kid. He's so awesome. He's such a good young man. He works hard. He's got children. He takes care of his family. He does all the right things in life, and he comes out and fights. And when he was laying there in the ring, laid out, not moving, they picked his arm up. Like in wrestling, you see it go, boom, and it just dropped. I had tears in my eyes because not because I favored anybody, just because. I think if it had been you, I don't know if I would have had the same tear because we didn't really meet and everything, but him and I, but I probably, if you were laying there, I probably would have teared up too because I'm kind of a wuss like that, dude. I get really emotional about stuff and people being hurt, so I probably would have cried too. Who am I shitting? I'm trying to fucking act like a tough guy here, but it's a weird feeling. But you just, you went out there and you did it. You did the damn thing. It's, what the kids say, you did the damn thing. I mean, fucking. Now that you've had time to digest it, I'm sure you've watched it a few times.
Just a little bit. I don't really go back and watch my fights very much.
How many times did you watch the knockout?
Only a couple. I mean, mostly because people that were there were filming it from their phones and they were kind of sending me the clip, but it looked kind of similar from different angles. I did watch it once on YouTube. But I usually don't go back and watch them because I like to remember them how I remember them, not what it looks like from camera, because it's usually a little bit different.
Oh yeah, no. You've got that POV. You got that.
Yeah. And I kind of prefer that.
You see like a guy in front of you. You just see your arm going down, going doink, landing in somebody's face. Versus the angle showing it coming this way at his face from the sides and stuff. So I totally understand that. But me. I would have went if I'm you. I'm watching that knockout 100 times because I went back. I've literally watched that knockout about 30 times now, and I just look at it. I'm going, man. It just you can't. It's a fight. You think you know what your opponent's going to do or not do. But it doesn't really. It's all in the moment. There is as much game planning as goes into a fight, especially MMA or kickboxing where there's more disciplines and stuff to worry about. But in this, it's really just, is he going to hit me? And, how is he going to move? You don't have as many things to worry about. But you never know what they're going to do. That's the bottom line. You're hoping you can predict, and, there was the knockout came from an exchange where Zion had kind of grabbed you and almost judo tossed you somewhat, like to get you off him. You guys were in a clean. And then when he came back, he came in and he came hard and came low and his head was wide open and you just left hand.
Yeah, it's right up the middle, man. It was
left hand. That was like a Tom Glavine strike when he was, pitching for the Atlanta Braves. You know what I'm saying? It was just Nolan Ryan style, just straight down the middle, dude. If somebody was up there swinging at your fist, they would have missed because that was a perfect strike. Wow, that's kind of funny I said that. I like that. All right, we're going to have to use that later on. Anyway, so walk us through it from your own memory, not from the replay view. Just walk it through it best you can from your own memory because it happened so quickly. And by the way, Sean Corning is somebody that's watching. He said, nice win, man. So I just want to put that on the screen for you.
Brother. Appreciate it.
All right, so walk us through it. I'm going to sit back and relax and enjoy it.
From how I remember it, it started off, both feeling each other out a little bit, a few jabs back and forth. And then kind of similar to his previous fights that I had watched, he kind of explodes, kind of almost to over-exaggerate, like a run and punch type thing. He tries to close the distance really quick, throw a lot of barrage of punches. And he did that. And I think that's, around the time I got hit in the eye and stuff. But it wasn't anything that would like daze someone or concuss or anything. It was just, you could feel it was a surface injury. But I kept my feet moving. You know what I mean? Like use the distance some. And he did. We clinched up. We both threw a couple little inside punches, and then he did that kind of a throw, and I didn't even try and like resist it because to me it's a waste of energy. I made to try and wrestle with somebody in a boxing ring.
It's almost like rolling with a punch when you're getting hit in the face. In boxing, I mean, you rolled with the throw rather than again, and it worked out.
No reason to sit there and wrestle each other. Yeah, and then what's his name? Mergliata gave a warning, kind of like throwing.
Very stern warning.
And right after that split, he was very upright, and his hands were kind of on each side of his head. It was very open right up the middle, and faked a jab and just threw the straight left, and thankfully it just landed perfect.
Yeah, it's crazy. I like I said, I watched it. I'm just going, man, it couldn't have been written, scripted better for the finish for you the way it happened. And then the whole, him laying there for 5 minutes, which is what made me, tear up some because, I don't want to see anybody laying out. I don't.
Yeah, I agree.
There's guys I do not like in all combat sports, different, organizations that I just think are dicks, but I never want to see any of them laid out like that ever. I don't give a shit. You can be an asshole. You can be a dick. You can, do stupid shit to your opponents, say dumb shit about their wives and families, and stuff like that. But I still don't want to see you laid out and broken. I mean, I want you to go in there, compete, walk out under your own power. That's why I say to every fighter I talk to, walk out under your own power. Like Abby and Gian, that those guys are both Tampa guys. I love both of them. I've got a history with both of them. I don't like that they had to fight each other, but I knew at one point in life they would. So my wish for a fight like that is you both walk out under your own power, and the fight was a draw. Nobody won, nobody lost, and everybody walked out, healthy. That Sean Corning guy who said, "Nice win, man." I want to share this too because he goes, he's a Z-Man fan, but you stuck the shit out of him very clean. That's when you're doing shit right. And, when somebody who is rooting against you tells you, hey, nice win, fucking, those are the fans I like.
And thank you, man. I do appreciate the comment there. And I'm glad Zion's okay. Same thing. Like, I don't want to see anybody permanently hurt or hurt to that extent. And I think everybody in the crowd too, everybody loves the action. And then when something happens like that, when they don't get up very quick, then it's kind of like reality sets in. Like, these guys can get hurt also. I'm glad he did end up getting up and getting out on his own feet and stuff. And
because they had the stretcher, they had the backboard in there for him because he was laying there.
They had oxygen on him and stuff.
It was bad. And I'll tell you, it makes it real for the fans, but I think it makes it more real for you guys as fighters. All the rest of the fighters on the card. Cassie Robb was out there. I was standing off the back of the stage area where we were hanging out after your fight and everything, off to the stage left. And I'm watching the fight. We watch the fight. You knock Z out. Cassie Robb and her coach are standing there right next to me, and she's watching the screen the whole time. And she obviously hadn't fought yet. And she's just like, you could see she was visibly shaken, really? Because one, we don't want to see anybody go out like that. But two, she's fighting 6 fights down the card. And the reality of what can happen to her, I think, hit her in the face really hard. And I'm not saying that the outcome of her fight would have been any different regardless because she fought somebody that was going to, she was going to fight. Yeah, she was going to, I don't think she was going to beat Taylor at all. I mean, I'm no disrespect to Cassie. I love her. She's done great over in Invicta. She's a great MMA fighter. But I just, Taylor Starling right now is the cat's pajamas, as the old folks say.
She's on a good roll right now.
And she's popular. She's fun. She fights. And she's not afraid to scrap. But I still think it affected something inside Cassie. I was looking at her coach. I was like, dude, man, look at your girl. Get her out of here. Take her outside. Let her go catch some fresh air. Throw something, and he did. He looked at her and goes, oh, shit, dude, I didn't even see that. And I'm not saying that, to be bad on him. He was watching the screen, like everybody else. So if you're watching that as a fighter in the back and you have to fight next, does that, wake you up? I'm sure you've been at an event where you've seen somebody get crushed, before you fought. what does that do to you as a fighter prior to your fight? You're fighting on the same card. You know, it's different when you're in the crowd watching as a fan versus you're in the locker room and you're up next.
It's just, you know, you're already pumped as it is, and it just kind of helps take you up to another level. Like when we're in the back warming up, you know, like the place we just fought at, all the walls are pretty well built, you know, so it's fairly soundproof. So we're back there, and you can't hear a lot of little things, but you can hear when the crowd erupts, you know. So something just happened. Someone just got hit with a big punch, you know, like that. And it definitely, like, I mean, I enjoy it, you know. Like like I said, I have a full-time gig. I'm purely doing this just because I want to. It's exciting. Yeah, I mean, and I do remember it, like back in the amateur days, though. Like I think I was, you know, it was like maybe like my third amateur fight, and I was like the second fight on the card. And the first guy like went out, and he was back in pretty quick, and he was just covered in blood. I went up there, and the mat's covered in blood. It's like, all right, well, yeah, this shit's real. So,
but do you think about, like, you know, have you ever been on a card where you're in the back, and somebody gets knocked out, or, you know, they break their leg or something like that? Does it make you think to yourself at any point, you know, holy fuck, you know, what the fuck am I doing? Or, you know, why am I doing this? You know, does it add a different element of feeling? Like, and I don't want to say fear, because anybody who steps into a ring, a cage, you know, a pit to fight somebody else, I don't think fear is the right word to use to describe the feeling that I'm trying to, you know, find out that you have. Because if you have that kind of a fear, you shouldn't be fighting. You know, and most fighters I know, I don't think I've ever spoke to a fighter that fears their opponent. You know, they're not afraid of their opponent.
It's more your pride.
Yeah, I think they're, you know, smart ones pay attention to what their opponents can do and are aware, you know, like, you know, if you're fighting Francis Ngannou in the UFC, obviously, you know, you don't want to get knocked out. That motherfucker drop you with one big punch. So walking into that fight, I would guess, you know, you're not afraid of him, but you're you know, you're not looking forward to eating that big left hand that he's going to nail you with. So, you know, you gotta think about it. So I don't know if I call it fear, but does it change the way you feel? Maybe we're going to come up with a new word to describe it. I don't know, because I'm not a fighter. I'm not in the mindset, you know. I fight different things.
I don't think that, you know, any of the fights leading up to mine change how I feel. You know, I've seen it enough times to where, like, I know guys that come back in the locker room, some of them are going to be really happy, and, you know, they just pummeled the dude, and some of them are going to be beat up, and they're going to be sad, and they're going to be upset, you know, and you're like, you know, you give them the quick, hey, man, you'll get them next time, and then now it's your turn to either go win or lose. So it doesn't change much for me, but, you know, there's just that anticipation all along the way. I mean, from the moment you know, more or less sign the contract and really get into fight camp up until, you know, the fight's done, you always have that kind of, you know, maintenance drip of you know, adrenaline coming through every time you think about it. And that's just part of the game, part of the excitement, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, like, if I was standing out there watching, and maybe the best thing to do is not to watch the fights ahead of you, just stay in the locker room and do your thing. Maybe that's the thing I took from that for other fighters. But I you know, knowing me as I am today, the person I am, if I was fighting on that card and I saw you knock out Z and him lay there like that, motionless for a few minutes, it would probably make me get anxiety, like going, fuck, man, I don't want, you know, first of all, I'd be worried about my friend, you know, because he's on the card, and second of all, I'd be like, fuck, man, I hope this doesn't happen to me. And I would probably get into my own head. I'd probably beat myself before I ever walked out into that ring. You know, so it takes a mental strength that, you know, maybe everybody isn't capable of. And that's why everybody isn't fighting. You know, everybody isn't fighters, you know. It's why, you know, everybody isn't a fireman or a cop or a nurse, you know. You have to have a different mental, you know. And so, you know, you probably, you know, with what you do for a living, you've probably seen some shit much worse than that on a daily. So, I mean, maybe it doesn't affect you differently. Maybe you're the wrong guy for me to ask that question to. I got to find somebody else that just does normal shit, because you already do superhero shit in your daily job, you know. And, you know, and I'm not saying that to blow your ego up.
Feelings, though. No, I know you're not.
I say that because I think all firefighters and people that serve our community in that capacity, firefighters, policemen, military, nurses, those are people I look up to as superheroes. Not everyone, there's some dicks that do all those jobs, but the bottom line is you're all willing to put your life on the line every day, not just on fight night. And so to me, that's a superhero. That's somebody that's willing to, go out there and protect my ass, and possibly die protecting my ass. Much respect for that, dude. Get a cape. That's what I'm saying.
I appreciate that, man. I've said the same thing. I've got a buddy at work who, he was a Marine, like before he was with the fire department with me, and we were chatting about something. I'm like, dude, I was like, people give me a lot of credit for doing the fighting and stuff because it's kind of out in the open and everybody can see it, But I was like, realistically, like nothing's gonna get hurt out there besides my pride. You know what I mean? I was like, shit, you guys are doing overseas that none of us ever see. I was like, that's actual tough guy shit. You know what I mean? So, my
real deal shit.
My hat's off to them. Yeah, that's totally different. But yeah, I mean, it's two different feelings. Like there is a rush once in a while from calls at work, like the big ones. Because we do get a lot of BS calls too. I mean, I would say probably 90% of them.
How many cats in the tree?
We don't get those like people think. But there's this,
I know. I just had to ask a stupid question. Yeah, I had to ask.
I've been hoping that call comes one day so I can be like, you know what? I got out of a tree. But
boom! Social media. Look, we really do get cats out of a tree.
It finally happened.
I'm gonna do that in your area. I'm gonna go get a cat. I'm gonna put him up in a tree. I'm gonna call your fire department. Cat to the tree. He's stuck. They're gonna be like, how did he get up? I don't know. He climbed, but I'm gonna leave the cat carrier in the tree, so this way, he'll still be there when you get there.
When you get there, the cat's just gonna either run away or jump on your face or whatever it can. It doesn't want to be messed with.
That would suck.
It's lose for us.
Man, I love it.
Ultimately, it is just two different feelings as far as those kind of calls, that kind of adrenaline, and the other one where you're putting, again, I guess your pride on the line more so than your ass. So,
all right, so you're 2-1. You're fighting at 185. Kenmon Evans was on here earlier when I started the show. I don't know if you're still watching. I told him you were coming on, and where's this coming? Oh, there it is. He wants it at 175. He said Kenmon Evans and Warren 175, but you're fighting 185 because I put 175 by mistake today on the post, and Z was like 175, like he was like, damn, like, but you were like, and I was typing so fast while I set the thing up and hit the 7 instead of the 8.
Definitely 185.
185. So, and I had asked you this the other day when I talked to you too. You're like, I asked you who you wanted next, and you're like, well, I want to work my way to a title. But in reality, because BKFC is still building and growing, this is the time to try to make a title run. There's not a ton of guys in your division, and you're 2-1 right now. So, maybe you get one more fight and then say, where am I in the title picture? Because, but is that something you want to do? Do you want to fight for the title, or you're just fighting to do fuck it, I'm just here to fight? Do you even care about the gold? Because me, I want the gold.
Yeah, for sure, man. We all want to make it to the top. And I did, after you and I spoke the other night at the fights, I thought about it a little more, and you are correct, because it is a relatively new sport, so you really don't have to have as many wins to get to that top spot.
Yeah, you're not gonna have to get 8 wins. I mean, you get fuck. I mean, that knockout counts as like 3 wins.
Yeah, and just for a solid example, now I know they got they're a lot more famous and stuff, but Thiago had 1 win.
One fight in. He only had 1 fight coming in.
Yeah, and then me and Yuli, both of our first fights were with the same guy, Brian Maxwell.
Yeah.
And then after that, Yuli had the one, awesome 3-second knockout, and then boom, he's in the title contention. So, you're right. It can happen a lot quicker now. At this point, I don't have anybody specific to call out. I do the chain of command thing. BK talks to my coach and manager. He comes and be like, Jared, this is what they offered. This is what I think. and we make a pro decision from there. But yeah, I would love to be in the mix for a title.
Yeah, I
Everybody
mean,
wants
this
to
is
say-
the time. Listen, you're 37 years old, and for bare knuckle, I don't think that's over the hill because a lot of the guys are in your age range. And since it's less wear and tear to do bare knuckle on your body, on the physical training, depending on how you train every day, you might not have changed any training. You still might be doing all the crazy same workouts, but you don't have to concentrate on wrestling and all this other stuff or jiu-jitsu right now. You just have to concentrate on footwork and striking and head movement. Keep your head off the center line, fucking dodge that shit. If you get punched, roll with it, and then fucking crack back. I mean, that's it. Work the body. I think I'm hoping we're going to see more guys really trying to crack the body more and break down some people. I think as this sport continues to evolve, guys are going to start to figure that out. And some people might go, "Oh, that's not super exciting," but you know what? Chopping a tree down from the bottom up is fucking dope. And if you do it right, so, rape the body and then fucking destroy the head. That's the way you do it, So, but you can go right now. I mean, you are in that knockout counts, like I said, as 3, in my opinion, that counts as 3 big wins because it was such a huge moment. And everybody, was talking about it. They haven't officially announced knockout of the night yet, but I can't see how you
They did on. I'm sorry to interrupt you. They did announce
tell me.
on Instagram. Brandon
Today?
UFC. It was yesterday afternoon. So there's 2 pictures. The first one shows Paige and Rachel as like fight of the night, and then you swipe over, it shows me and Z, and it says knockout of the night.
That's the way it should be.
So they did.
Hopefully
They did announce it.
Hopefully they'll give you a little cheddar for that.
I got to give Feldman credit too. He gave me a bonus immediately. Like before I even got to the back room, he gave me a bonus. So
he does that, man. He does that. People, he does.
He said it too at the fighter meeting. He's like, there's bonuses available for everybody in here. He doesn't just give just one. It's just whoever puts on that show basically. And man of his word, he immediately gave me a bonus. So I'm definitely appreciative of that.
That's awesome, man. Fucking, a little cash bonus on the side or even a check, whatever it is, man. As long as it works, man. Fuck it, hey, I'll take extra money for doing my job. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So Kenmon did pop on here about 7 minutes ago, but I was talking. I didn't see the comment pop up. He just put 100% heart king. I don't know what that means. All these emojis. I'm too old for emoji shit, but maybe he'll come back and explain his answer. Kenmon's such a good dude also, and he's had some exciting wins as well. So, he's a guy, if he goes out, and comes back in with his next fight when they book him again and gets another big knockout win, he's in contention at 175 immediately, So this is the time, like I said, Thiago got his title shot, 1 fight in, Lombard had, I think, 2, and, he's a champion now. It's, some guys, were griping about those guys, getting title fights. Lombard versus Rig.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. I mean, people have...
It meant respect, 185 to 175. Hopefully see him in there. That'd be cool if you guys did get to dance. You guys both bring it. But what was I saying now?
Just about Hector and Riggs.
So Hector and Riggs fought for a title. People are like, why? And here's one of the reasons why. And it's like why Thiago got to fight for a title. Because this is a growing promotion.
He's got a following. People know who he is.
Name recognition for the promotion. That's why Paige and Rachel is a good thing. I talked with Arnold Adams, and he goes, "You all know we're the real main event." I said, "Well, I get it. I know what you're saying as far as fight quality. What you believe is the main event, but I'd be happy to fight on a Paige card. She's bringing more eyes to see me. Thank you, Paige. Rachel, same thing. Rachel will bring more eyes. No offense to people that, like yourself, going out and knocking dudes out, but more people will probably know Rachel in this combat community than you. And that's not a slight. She just happened to make it to the UFC. She's a pretty girl. It's reality. So I'm all in, put them on the card. But that's what I was telling, like Z was mad. Z was mad when these things were happening. And I told him, I said, look, for somebody like you, Z, it's the perfect storm scenario. If you go out and win your fights, like before you guys fought, and I think before it was even booked. We were talking earlier this year, and I said, look, doesn't matter who you fight next. You know, this is going to happen. This is when all the title talk was talking, and nobody knew, and I knew. And I put an article out about it, and I said, these are the way it's going to be. And nobody believed me, and I was exactly right how it went down, except for Joe Riggs. I didn't Victor him, but I knew Lombard was going to be one half of that title. And I told him, I said, for you, it's perfect, dude. I said, look, Thiago and Uli fight for that belt, right? So if Thiago Alves wins and you go out there and win your next fight and maybe the fight after that, you're in a title shot. And then you go out there and you fight Thiago Alves for a world title. And if you beat Thiago Alves, doesn't matter that he's not in the UFC anymore. It matters that he came here and took a gold belt and you take him out. Your credibility, your marketability, and your financial growth benefits more from you beating him for a belt than beating anybody else on the fucking roster. For
sure.
And that's
how cool
the truth.
Is it to fight somebody like that that's been around, you know, for a long time. So
I mean, what if they called you tomorrow and they said, you know, Jared, I want you to fight Thiago for the title. You go out there and beat fucking Thiago Alves for a title, bro.
Absolutely.
You can take you won't have to do on 24, off 48, on 24. You might only have to do on 24 and off 48, you know, or off 96. You know, on 24, I'm off 96.
Shifts so I can go train. Yeah.
You know,
no, I mean
it's
awesome,
career changing. It's career changing to have that. So I mean, and because this is so new, it's not like, you know, any BKFC guys have 10, 12 BKFC fights, and Thiago got it.
Right.
Well, Thiago got it because he's Thiago, and then he went out there and won both fights. He fought Julian Lane the first time.
Doesn't matter if he's only had a couple. I mean, he's still a bad boy. He's been around. He's had a lot of fights. You know, he ain't over the hill. He's still a badass fighter.
I mean, Luis Palomino came over from, you know, doing World Series of Fighting and XFC back in the day and so many other things. He came in, you know, got a win, got into the title picture, won a title. And all the champions right now are legit fucking badasses. You know, Hector Lombard versus Lorenzo Hunt is going to have to happen. You know, after the whole incident when Lombard won the title and cracked Lorenzo for coming in the ring, getting his face. I mean, that was a crazy moment. So it just was, you know, I was like, I'm watching, and all of a sudden, you know, Lorenzo gets popped, like, and it's almost like it didn't even phase me. It was just like, and what? You know, and I was like, oh, God, here we go. This is going to get nuts in the ring. Luckily, Joe Riggs stopped it from – Joe Riggs, after, you know, the whole crappy finish of that fight, everything that happened, he still went in there and saved Lombard.
Well, we just got them fighting each other. Let me keep you from fighting somebody else.
Yeah, you know.
It's kind of cool to watch.
You already earned the paycheck.
Yeah, I know it's not in the talks right now, but I would love to see a rematch of Lombard and Dave Mundell. I've trained with Dave, and so far,
Dave Mundell's a cool motherfucker, dude. I've known him for a long time.
He took him the full 5 rounds, and I want to say the first or second round, you know, Dave broke one of his own hands and stuff, but still went the 5 rounds. And you know, maybe I'm biased. I thought he won that night, but there's a
lot of people that felt the same way that felt Mundell really won. I thought it was a close fight all the way through. So you know, I wasn't mad at the decision, but I also saw the other side of why so many people said Mundell won. You know, and it's hard sometimes to watch these fights because, you know, these are guys that, you know, I don't want anybody to go, you know, some people get their feelings hurt, go, oh, well, I don't think you won, you know. But Mundell ain't even that guy. Mundell don't give a shit. I love the back and forth Mundell has had over the last, you know, 6-8 months with Brandon Lambert, dude. That shit cracks me the fuck up. Those two go at it. You know, they're never going to fight because they're in such different weight divisions.
Yeah, there's no chance. Yeah.
But my God, those two are funny together, dude. They should do like a fucking podcast together and just fucking abuse each other on the podcast. It would probably go huge, you know, because they just crack on each other bad, dude. It's almost, I think they do more damage to each other than either of them would end up in getting in a fight. They just fuck with each other so hard.
It's out of control. It is fucking funny, though.
But I like the idea of Mundell and Lombard going back. And
of course, you always think, too, like, well, even though a lot of guys break their hands in this, you know, it does make you think, if it went that well with one hand, you know, if he wouldn't have broken a hand, how it would have went. But, of course, there's always going to be what if, whatever. But, like I said, I just think, personally, it was a good enough fight for them to run it back. That would be cool to see. If it not soon, you know, maybe down the road, depending on who gets this title.
well, maybe bring in Mundell, when they bring him back, and maybe put him in there, with Riggs, let him fight Riggs.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
beats Riggs,
Cool too.
give him the title shot. I think
Mhm.
that's the quickest route, and,
That's fair. Yeah.
and you know what the other thing is, and because they fought already, and because the roster is still growing, so they're not deep. It's an easy way to get back to a title shot, or easy way to get to the title shot, I should say.
Mm.
And I love it. I love it for the guys that are doing this right now, and the girls, because the opportunities to become champions are there. Like, look at Reggie Barnett. Now, Reggie Barnett, I think, has the most fights in BKFC history right now. It's 6. I think it's 6. I think he's 5-1. Yeah, and he's fighting now for a title, even though he's not fighting Dat, because Dat, was cut and quit or whatever, and now Dat's back, and now he wants to fight Palomino at 155. I don't even know what's going on with this kid.
Right.
But it just still feels to me like he's trying to avoid Reggie Barnett at all costs.
Probably.
And I don't know why. Because Johnny, listen, MMA math or bare knuckle math, there's no real, formula to it. But if you look at it, Johnny fought Reggie. Johnny beat Reggie.
Mm-hmm.
Dat fought Johnny. Dat beat Johnny. So if you just follow that scenario, Dat fights Reggie. Dat on paper should probably beat Reggie. And in my own mind, if I'm Dat, I'm beating Reggie because I've already beat Johnny and Johnny beat him. So I'm going, okay, well, that's it. So,
maybe he knows. I don't know any of those guys personally besides, maybe like seeing them in the locker room pre-fight.
Right.
But I think Reggie's awesome. And
I love
for some
Reggie.
reason, I do feel like he will have the title soon. And maybe
he's fighting Johnny for it in August, the main event.
Yeah, and maybe Dat sees it as Reggie's gotten better over the last couple of years. You know what I mean? Like since he fought Johnny the first time. But yeah,
and Reggie definitely is better than he was back then. So there's no doubt.
Yeah, he's a good fighter, man.
It just seemed like weird, and it's just I don't know. It was just weird the way the whole thing went down. But
yeah, it is strange.
It is strange. But so what we've learned today is you're a firefighter. You work hard for the community. The guys razz you. You're no longer a party animal. You don't drink a lot, and you're in bed by 9:30.
I don't want to oversell it. I do still like to party some.
I know.
We go on vacation, but I am I'm definitely a bit of a hermit when it comes close to fight time.
So you know what I didn't ask? Are you married? Do you have children? What's the story in your personal life there?
No, I got a girlfriend, no kids, a couple dogs, but that's about it, man. Somehow I've avoided any chitlins up until this point.
Up until this point, do you still want to have chitlins, or did you ever not want to have chitlins? Because it's not a requirement.
I'm a little different, I would say, than most people. Like I'm open to it, but I've just never really had that urge. So it's kind of like, if it happens, with a girl I want to be with, cool.
Then it happens.
If it doesn't happen, also cool. Those things are expensive from what I hear.
Yeah,
so,
they are. So Michael Hanowski, I don't know if this is one of your buddies here or something, because I don't know who this is. He said, "Nice one-hitter quitter." I'm guessing.
Thanks,
I don't know if he's talking about your drinking style or your knockout of Zai, because it fits on both, right?
It would probably take a few more drinks than that, so hopefully it's talking about that.
Well, listen, brother. It was great to watch you fight. It was great to see you win an important fight in your hometown, in your backyard, man. It's always nice to have that, that moment,
thing, man. Great turnout of friends and family, man. I couldn't be more thankful than the people that showed up.
How many people do you think came because you were there, directly because you were on that card?
For some reason, the way the laying out the contract and stuff happened, we didn't only got a couple weeks to sell tickets. I know I personally sold like 80 of them or so. And those are just like friends who came, and a lot of them brought people as well. But
Michael's from BW Sports 1 and Karma Coin. Oh, cool. I didn't know it was one of your friends or one of mine. So and then I don't know if he's taking a shot at you, going, "Nice one-hitter quitter," because we were talking about you had like a half a drink and you were done, or if he was talking about the knockout, So it's like.
Either way, I have to go home early, so I'm okay with that.
Hey, that's right. You're not getting paid by the hour, man.
But yeah, we had an awesome turnout there, and it felt
80 tickets.
Like when it felt like the whole crowd was there for me in my mind. Anyways, the way people were cheering, it was pretty awesome.
It was, and he just commented. No, of course he was talking about you're beautiful KO, bro. That's awesome, Michael. So Michael, since you're watching with us, and you do BW1 Sports 1 and Karma Coin, which is awesome. If you got a question for my man Jared, type it in there. I'll ask for you because we cool like that shit. We don't mind taking a question from the crowd. For you there, Mr. Warren, firefighter, paramedic Warren. Do you watch like TV shows completely off the fight game? Do you watch TV shows that that are based on firehouses? And I'm not talking about like on reality channels. I'm talking about made for TV, scripted TV shows. Do you ever watch any of those?
The only one I've seen, I've seen a little bit of the Chicago Fire a few years ago. I haven't seen it recently.
Yeah.
Seen that, and then what was back in the day? Rescue Me with who's the redheaded guy that's hilarious? The big Irish dude.
Dennis Leary.
Yes, that one I enjoyed the shit out of. It's been a lot of years since I've seen it, but I saw the whole season. Did
it depict any reality in the firehouse, or was it just a complete farce? Either bit. Show.
I would say more so the Rescue Me show. It did in the inside the firehouse kind of depiction as far as how they, there is a pecking order and guys screwing with each other and all that stuff. That was more realistic. Now, as far as the actual calls go on all the shows, they definitely speed them up and make them a lot more dramatic. I mean, there's certain rescues I see happen where they do it in 5 seconds. I'm like, that whole setup right there would have taken at least 30 to 45 minutes. You know what I mean? To do it the right way. So I mean, but it's not going to be as entertaining if it takes that long.
Right.
But,
all right. So Michael said he wanted to know, he got in late, but are you calling anyone out for your next fight? If already said, I apologize. Yeah, he's not calling anybody out. He was thinking, he's going to work his way to the title, but after talking with me at the fights the other night, he realized he wants to get a title shot now. So if it's available, let's get it. So that was the answer to the question, but he didn't call out anybody specifically. Yeah. Zion, I don't know if he's been watching the whole time, but he just popped on. He said, your eye looks worse than his.
I believe it. It's a pretty one.
And then he put the sad emoji down there because he's like, but
he's a good dude, man. I like him. I like his dad. They're both.
And then Sean Corning, his boy, came on and said, Backdraft, best fire movie ever made.
That's cool.
That was a pretty good movie. I like it. When you said Zion and his dad, let me tell you, they're the only bare knuckle fighting family, father son family in the sport, which is cool.
That's pretty cool.
And I'm glad to see Zion is out there still, making comments and being himself, because I would have been sad if he wasn't. And Z, if you're watching, I don't know if your dad told you, but I said on the air, I said to Jared that night, and watching you lay there, dude, made me cry. I'm not even gonna lie, dude. I'm glad you're up and around and you're coming out and you're smart assing people on social media just like fucking normal. Makes me fucking happy, bro. So I think you said you're having surgery today or tomorrow. If you had it today, I hope it went well. If you're having it tomorrow, good luck. And, we're wishing the best for you. And hopefully we can chat after the surgery. And I just want to know, Z, are there any bums out there? I'm gonna wait to see what he types, dude. Because everybody's above it. It's so funny. He cracks me up when he starts doing it.
I do remember seeing him. Trolling Yuli for a while.
Oh, dude, he was all over Yuli. It was hashtag Yuli's a bum forever. And he'll start that again tomorrow or tonight. He says he'll be back soon, looking for the smoke. He goes, he's just good. The nerve damage, what made me go out. And he's awesome. And he knows he'll be back. And that's the thing. He's 21 years old, dude. Can you imagine you being 21 years old and coming into this now, the trajectory of what you could do? So I mean, this kid's got everything in front of him. I do believe still one day he'll end up in a title shot and win a title and hang on to it for a minute or two. He's a good kid and he's working hard.
I remember when I was told a couple friends this when I was 20 years old. I fought a guy that was 37, and I remember I was making jokes. I'm like, I feel like I'm fighting someone's dad. You know what I mean? Like this old man. And now that it's come full circle, I'm like, doesn't seem that old now. You know what I mean? But back then, I thought I was fighting a freaking dinosaur.
Yeah, right. It's crazy, man. But you go through experiences in life, for different reasons, So you went through that one, kind of a similar experience. You went through it back in the day. Guy, much older, and you go in there and fight. But at the end of the day, because some of the young guys, always think they're going to beat the older guy. They got that, I got the strength, I got this. But some of the guys that are older than them, are experienced and they understand everything. And that's why some of them win those fights. It isn't because they're stronger than the younger guy or a little faster than the younger guy. But they have so much experience, they understand what
fight
they have
IQ,
to do. Yeah, fight IQ, bro.
And I do, at least from a personal side, I feel like you do get stronger when you get older. Like if I was the same age as him, there's no way we could fight because I would have been 150 pounds. But like for him too, like he, you may see in a handful of years he could easily be a heavyweight. He's a tall guy, he's got a big frame.
Yeah,
he can be heavyweight easy.
I think he said he'll fight anywhere from 165 up to 205 right now, dude, and he'll make weight in any of those divisions.
Yeah,
because he's young and he can.
Yeah, I can't do the cut thing. I don't like starving myself, man. I always say is like I'd rather fight guys a little bit bigger than.
And I think for you, and I know you stay in shape, you train, you work out, all that stuff. You have to, but for you, dropping all that weight, leading up to a fight, I think it would affect your day job.
For sure, I'd be. Yeah, I did it when I first turned pro back. I think it was like 2011. I was new on the job. And I was always pissed off. My blood sugar was low. You're getting up 4 times after midnight to run calls. And it's not a good look for me, man. And I'm not going back to that. I don't cut weight like that anymore.
Yeah, Zion said he's 200 pounds right now. He only gained 5 pounds from weigh-ins to fight night. That's crazy.
Yeah, I walk around at $195, man. I don't cut much.
Here's his thing. He said 75 to 205 he'll fight. He's fought all 3 weight classes and 3 bare knuckle fights, all on 3 weeks' notice. That's the beauty of being 21. And look, Michael, right here, just like your buddies, you're the Stipe of bare knuckle. Thank you for your service.
Thanks, brother.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, I respect you more for your day job than your night job. It is. I love that you do the night job though, because it's fucking entertaining as fuck, man. And gives me a chance to
be a little bit of a different person, kind of let the demons out,
I was gonna, back in the day, I was gonna be an EMT and then eventually become paramedic. But I went out on my very first clinical on an ambulance, and it was a car fire, and a baby died in that fire. I puked on the side of the road. I said, "This is not for me." I wanted to do it, but it's not meant for everybody. And that was the hardest thing outside of my own personal life thing that I ever saw. That just
that's a rough one. Anytime there's kids involved, it's much impactful, I would say.
Yeah, but the difference is you'll get through the call. I'll be on the road puking, and that's why I'm not good at doing that. Like my wife was. We're at the house, right? And she was cooking something, doing something in the kitchen. She sliced her finger, and got a little chunk, right? And as soon as she showed me, I'm like ready to hurl vomit all over the place, man. And I'm getting like panic attacky because I don't know what to fucking do. Luckily, our neighbor at the time was a nurse. So we took her over there, and I'm trying not to even look, dude. I'm like queasy, like I'm passing out, dude. Like I'm like falling out because I can't deal with other people's shit, dude, like that. Like, Woo! So I hope nothing bad happens to her ever while I'm alive, or while I'm dead either. But especially while I'm alive, because I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I'm like, what do I do? And she's gonna be like, "Honey, it's just a splinter." I'm gonna be like, "Oh my god, I thought you were gonna die. It's a splinter."
Yeah, it's true. I had that thing when I was like a little bit younger. Like needles in general didn't bother me, but for some reason, IV needles used to bother me. Like if I had to get one, and like I wouldn't like pass out a throat, but it bothered me. I didn't like the feeling of it. It kind of was like annoying. And I was like, once I started going to medic school, I'm like, well, shit. I'm like, what if I can't do this, you know? But for some reason, after the first time of giving somebody an IV, it just like took all that away. Like from then on out, like you can poke me, I can poke you. It doesn't freaking make a difference. Like it just changed something in my brain, and never had an issue with it again. But yeah, all the blood and gore and all that stuff, you kind of get conditioned to it.
Yeah, I guess you have to get used to it. It was something I knew at that moment. When that happened, I knew I was done. There was like no way I was going to recover from that. I just knew because, when I went to all my classes and everything, I wasn't thinking about tending to children.
Yeah,
I just wasn't, and so it just hit me in the face hard, man. And that's okay,
probably
man.
saw one of the worst ones that people can see because I mean, fortunately, I would say like a small percentage do involve kids, and then one of them actually getting burned up like that is even more rare. So that's kind of like definitely on the spectrum of being one of the worst things you're gonna see, visually and memorable was. So maybe that's kind of like why it happened, to be like, listen, this isn't your calling, so let me show you the worst of it right now. Because maybe if you would have had an easy shift, you would have started easing into it.
Who knows? I mean, but I was 20 years old, in the EMT classes, and like I said, even if I did that class today, obviously I'm hoping I'm a little more mature than I was when I was 18, 19, 20. But I'm probably not as mature as I think I am. But I still don't think I'd be able to do it because the way I react, people around me, if they get a boo-boo and everything, I'm like, oh. It doesn't work well for Christopher James. And what's crazy though is I can watch fights all day and I can watch people get fucked up in a fight. And unless it's like fighters I know, I've met, I've seen them, been around, I don't get too crazily emotional. But when it's fighters I know, like you guys, all the bare knuckle guys, I pretty much know everybody. And there's a few UFC fighters I'm friends with that over the years they just become part of your life. So I feel bad for them. But if I'm watching them on TV, like I don't get as emotional then as I do if I'm in the arena. So if like I wasn't at the show last week and I watched you do knock Z out like that, I don't think I would have gotten as visibly upset. Because first of all, they probably would have cut away, so I wouldn't have had to even really watch him lay in the ring for all that time. But I'm standing like 40 feet away. I'm going, I can't even help my friend get up.
Yeah,
you know what?
Kind of
what? I just decided I'm mad at you. You're a paramedic, dude. You should have just jumped right in there and fucking worked on him. You got there. You had the best shot to fix him faster than a doctor. No, I'm just. When
I first realized that it was a little bit more serious than I originally thought, I did want to walk over and give like the respect handshake and help and say hope you're okay type thing. But basically out of respect, I'm like, his corner and the people that were working on, they're probably not going to want me in the way. A lot of times that's what happens on seeing people's families. Yeah. They want to help and they start yelling out to you like, help. I'm like, sir, man, we are helping them, just little space. So I kind of tried to do the same thing, step back, let them do their thing respectfully. And, thankfully everything worked out okay in the end.
That brings up, but at any fight that you've been at, have you ever had to, helped, deliver some kind of medical work to any fighter on the cards ever?
No, but like
I just thought about that. It's like, I wonder if that's happened.
No, but one of my oldest stories, it was when I was doing kickboxing and stuff. A lot of my friends know this one, but I basically had a match. I was fighting for a title, and I hit the dude with a jump spinning back kick right in the chest. And kind of like similar to the stories you hear of like a baseball player getting hit with a pitch, it stopped his heart. Oh. And he killed over. Like I thought I just knocked the wind out of him. I'm all celebrating and everything. And then I kind of turn around, the dude's like pale, not moving, and I'm like, oh shit, and they actually did have to revive him because he went into a bad rhythm, and they said he officially died for like 2 minutes, but thankfully the medics that were there got him back, and they had to carry him out on the backboard and stuff. But that was like pre to me being with the fire department, so I didn't quite know exactly what happened, but later on I kind of found out about it.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those rare stories. Not many people die in fighting, but it it happened. It was one of those nights.
That is fucking nuts. That is just fucking crazy. Like, wow. Like, I'm just sitting there thinking about, wow, the guy went pale. He had to be revived, like legitimately, paddled and shit. Fucking wow.
Yeah, it was definitely it was interesting, man. Like I said, we all know, even though combat sports are inherently dangerous, that level doesn't usually happen. But thankfully, like I did end up talking to my opponent the next day, and he kind of, I knew we knew who each other was. We were fighting for the title, and he kind of had like a surfer guy attitude. And he's like, "Yeah, man, they told me I died, so that's cool." So after he could joke about it, then I feel like I could joke about it some too, and it kind of lightened everything up. But previous to that, I kind of kept it hush hush out of respect because I didn't want to act like I was talking bad about somebody who passed away for a few minutes. Yeah,
that's crazy. Like, and his attitude like Spicoli, like, dude, bro, man, I died, bro. Fucking cool, man, cool. Yep. Hey, Mr. Hand, can I have some pizza? I mean, just fucking. That's just so funny, man. But such a crazy story, And I wonder how many moments there are like that happen like that we never hear about, where a guy to be revived after a fight, because nobody wants to talk about. Obviously, it's not something that's productive to growth for the sport, shall we say? I mean, hey, well, yeah. But I've been at enough events where I've been ring announcing or I've been covering, and medical attention is always right there on point. I don't think I've ever seen anybody take it to that level where they, died, at least at an event that I was at. So thank God, I live to fight another day, man. That's my thing. Like I said, walk out under your own power if you can. Sometimes you can't, you break a leg or something, you can't walk out. But that's how I feel about every fight. I want you to go out there, compete hard, compete clean, compete to win. And then both of you walk out, have a cocktail after, loser buys the first round. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's how I've always been lucky enough. My past opponents, we've always been cool with each other. Kept a little bit of contact, social media and stuff, and same thing. Like, they're all good dudes. I'd have a drink with them anytime.
It's funny. The bond you get from somebody you stand across a ring or a cage with and fight is probably somewhat similar to a guy you walk into a firehouse with. Walk into a fire with. Mm-hmm. You guys share something that a lot of people don't get to share, and whether you like it or not, it does create a bond. And most fighters, they might not like you before, but they all seem to respect after, you share that time in the ring and cage. So that's awesome. I'm guessing that same camaraderie, exists in the firehouse. So, you're getting it from all around, dude. You get to live like the cool life, basically, like 2 days a week or 3 days a week, however your schedule works out. You're like in a college dorm room, and once in a while you got to go out and do some shit, and fucking then, every like 6, 8, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, you get to go beat somebody up and get money. I mean, you're kind of living the dream, bro. Fucking A. I mean,
maybe, I don't know. I may just have a few screws loose and, I don't know, doing something, some kind of, so I hate to use the term, adrenaline junkie, because it's been, used for so long. It's kind of a real thing in the sense of, everybody who's fought, I think, knows when you win, high is high. When you lose, low is low. So you kind of chase that high again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it is kind of a sense that you are chasing that same thing. But yeah, I mean, I do feel fortunate and blessed to have a good job and be able to do this career and kind of live out the passion at the same time.
Yeah. And, talking about, phrases and terms that are overused, I'm going to drop this one and then we're going to wrap this thing up here. But, we're going to have to get you to sing too, because you already heard I made him do it. So you're going to have to do it first time on the show. I didn't make you do it live at Fight Night like I should have, because that was your technical first time on the show. But you just fought, so I wanted to let you enjoy that moment. But you can't skip it now. But word that gets overused in combat sports is champ. Everybody calls everybody a fucking champion. Unless you have gold or, leather or something around your waist, you're not champ. I don't give a fuck. Some people go, everybody, fuck that shit. I'm not about fucking, participation trophies. I'm not about that bullshit. And unless you've been a champion, you should not be called champion. Anybody that doesn't like it, you can't see me. All right. I had to throw that Cena thing in because it's the summer of Cena. All right. So before we let you go, you got to sing. I'm not even going to, try to pepper it all up. You already saw how I talked to Darren, so you already knew it was coming. So
it gave me no advantage when you were asking him, and I'm watching. I'm like, I cannot think of one lyric to one song right now, and I still can't. I was trying to like pregame. I'm like, oh, I'll sing this, but I can't think of nothing. You have a song? Give me a song.
Well, what kind of music do you listen to?
Typically like older rock.
Older rock. So, like how old? I mean, what are we talking?
I would say,
60s, 80s,
probably
90s?
Probably 80s more so.
So like Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I do listen to them.
AC/DC, Whitesnake, Van Halen.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of any of those songs that I can give you more than just like 2 seconds of lyrics without actually being able to hear the music. Keep spitballing though. You're firing something up here.
Oh, I'm firing something up there.
Yeah. Just give me something.
Journey, Rush, Bands of the 80s. Quick,
No. Okay. Actually, first concert I ever went to, even though it was like the early 2000s or something, was Bon Jovi actually. You said that, so shot through the heart and you're to blame,
darling.
You give love a bad name. Yeah, that's all you're getting out of me.
That's right. That's good enough, man. You made an effort. That's all I care about. Did we miss your birthday? Is it coming up? Is it at midnight? What did it just happen?
Mine's in November.
I guess Z was going to tell me to tell you to sing happy birthday. I thought he was telling you happy birthday. I go, my birthday is like fucking January, man. Fucking, so not talking to me. Maybe I missed something on your shit. I was like, oh, but you could have sung happy birthday to somebody. I guess I don't know. So maybe next time. But anyway, you guys, sponsors or people you want to shout out before we let you jump?
Yeah, man. I had some good sponsors, man. There's a place out here. It's called Epic Services. They do like muscular therapy treatment for me. Jet ICU is a buddy's company. They fly sick people around the world and stuff like that. They help me out a lot.
Awesome.
Pro Boxer is a new upcoming kind of fitness thing. The biggest addition though for me personally was the place I train. It's called Shift MMA, like shifting gears. I don't know if you ever had on Martin Smash Brown, but he's a badass MMA.
I've had him on. He's awesome.
Yeah, he is awesome. So it's his gym. And him and his coach, Jihad Wingfield, kind of took me under their wing.
Jihad is the best dressed cornerman in all combat sports.
Yeah. And
that man comes clean.
Dude,
I'm going to get blood on me. I'm not wearing my nice suit. This motherfucker comes in all sharp. I love him, though.
Yeah, dude. And again, I'll put his hands against anybody. He's an awesome coach, man. And like I said, I went in there thinking I was really good at kickboxing and stuff. Started doing some boxing with him. I was like, you know what? I officially know nothing, so treat me as such. And they just kind of like started me from scratch, and it's been amazing. So, very appreciative to everybody that's helped me out. Foil Surfboards, that's another. It's a firefighter on the department with me. It's his side gigs. He makes surfboards from scratch. He's been sponsoring me for a long time. So, all really good people, man. It's definitely a team sport when it comes to this stuff.
No doubt about it. Well, listen, man. Great work the other night. Like I said, very impressive performance. And you could, in the beginning of the fight, you were getting pieced up a little bit. You got worked over a little bit. No concussions kind of stuff. Like you said, surface stuff. Mostly. Yeah. But they hurt a little bit. And they leave marks, and that shit sucks for everybody. It just sucks. I wouldn't want to be walking around like that. Although, if I was single. Alive, though. Hey, yeah, it makes you feel alive. And if I was single, I had some cauliflower ear and a black guy, I'd probably get laid a lot. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm a fighter. Oh, my God, you're a fighter? Oh, look, cauliflower ear. Some people, I just make me laugh. But I'm glad for what you do, both of your jobs, man. More respect for your day job than your night job. Not that I don't respect your night job, but your day job is all the time, But great performance the other night. Like I said, man, I hope they, were paying attention. And hopefully, they'll start talking about you in that title shot too, because you put yourself in a position right now where the division isn't deep, and big knockouts make big things happen. So we'll see if you get it. Hopefully, yeah, and hopefully they'll give you a promotion to Firehouse too, just because you're a badass, man. Give you a raise. Those
are coming up too, man. I've actually I'm having my fingers crossed about that as well. I'm towing that line of getting a promotion. So, God willing.
I like how you said that you're towing the line. You brought another bare knuckle phrase, right? I mean,
Sure.
excellent marketing potential. You know what you're doing. But listen, man, enjoy the day. The rest of it, man, you know, and enjoy the victory. You earned it. And I'm glad to see Z up here, you know, commenting and joining the show. You know, he's ready to go right back to work. That's good news for everybody. I know you feel the same way. You know, fight night is fight night. After the fight, you know, you want everybody to be happy and healthy. You know, because, you know, you guys, you know, share time, like, you know, your brothers in a way, you know, and sisters, you know, with everybody you fight with. So that's awesome. Any last words about, you know, BKFC and Feldman? We already know you love him. He gave you a bonus on the side. Anything else you want to say before you dip out? I'm going to let you say whatever you want. And listen, this is what I want you to do. Make your closing statement and then drop the mic and just cut your camera off.
I'm just going to throw my phone across the room. No, man. Like, you have to go that far. But no, I mean, BK, like, I appreciate them having me, man. They're awesome. Freaking, they're the leaders in this industry. So it's badass to be a part of it. Zion, man, awesome fighter, respectful dude. Speedy recovery. And yeah, man, thanks for having me on the show. Anytime, I'd love to come back. I appreciate it.
Anytime you want, you come on, dude. You know, do you watch UFC?
I do, yeah.
All right, cool. So maybe I'll have you come on ahead of one of the next UFC cards, and we'll do some, you know, predictions and, you know, matchup stuff. So, you know,
my pleasure, man.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun, dude. Fucking, you know, maybe I'll even have to come out here to the studio in my house, and we'll do it live from here. I don't know. We'll figure it all out. But anyway, listen, great talking to you tonight, man. God bless you for everything you do, man. And, you know, hopefully we'll be talking about Jared Warren title shot here very soon. And peace out, man. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks, man. I'm going to throw my phone and then you shut me off so it looks really dramatic, okay?
All right.
Later.
Oh, I fucking love it. Hey, that was fucking great, man. He threw his phone all across the room. But you guys can't see it anymore, but I'm seeing he's laughing right there. That was fucking hysterical. Guys, thanks for tuning in tonight, man. I appreciate you all taking the time to join us, man. I hope you enjoyed my guests, Darren Cruickshank and my man Jared Warren. Both good guys. Jared just coming off a win. Cruickshank looking to get a win at XFC August 6th up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I might be doing, I'm definitely doing a show Thursday night. I've got two more XFC guys coming on. Brett Martin and James Dunn are joining us, and hopefully Austin Bashi will be stepping in as well. But that's it for tonight, guys. Don't forget, we've got Game Bred Fighting Champ. Well, let's start in order. XMMA this weekend in South Carolina. Then we got XFC the following weekend in Michigan. I've got Island Fights coming up, and we've got Game Bred Fighting Championship. Game Bred Fighting Championship September 11th in Biloxi. Island Fights featuring boxing matches, including the man himself, man, Supreme Patty, going to be fighting again. Another boxing match. That'll be in Pensacola, September 24th at the Pensacola Bay Center, live on Fight TV. And that's it. So, boys and girls, until next time, I appreciate you guys letting me be a part of your lives today, and for you guys being a part of mine. I can never truly put into words what that means, but just know it's right here in my heart. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I am Christopher James, and you know what that means. We are out of here. Good night, everybody.
What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell's Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Throw up the deuces. There you go, baby.